All right, all right. Awesome. Gotta get that to the right level there. All right, it is Monday, July 24th. Big week this week. We have a lot of earnings coming out for companies. We have the FOMC meeting, the interest rate decision to be made. So the FOMC meeting and Jerome Powell speaking are on Wednesday. I believe Tuesday is the big day in terms of earnings. We have some today. Let's see here. Nothing too crazy that I'm looking at. I think tomorrow we get a lot of big tech earnings. But as far as today, there is some economic data dropping pretty much right at market opening. It's S&P Flash US Manufacturing PMI and S&P Flash US Services PMI. So that comes out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, so 15 minutes after the market opens, we get that. So that's something to consider. I'm not sure how much of a sway that will have on SPY, but basically Tuesday and Wednesday we're expecting some volatility. But I have the weekly chart of SPY pulled up here, and we're definitely in an area of resistance or supply. If you look at, we've had a rejection here on the weekly. We broke above, that became an area of support, broke down below, became an area of resistance again, came back up, area of resistance again, we came back up, we pushed up into that area, and we kind of had a sell-off. If you look at the daily chart here, and so you can see that we started to pull back as we entered that zone. We kind of got this highest daily candle, a bit of like a doji, a little bit of an indecision, and then two red days, with the most recent day on Friday being an inside candle. So we just kind of chopped around within the range of Thursday, all of Friday. So I'm gonna throw a couple things on the screen here, areas I'm watching. I'm watching that 450 level. If we break below that, we could see something all the way down here potentially over the next couple of days. We kind of do have like this floating candle here that gapped up from this area, so we gapped up. I think if we break 450, we could come down. I'm not saying immediately, but over the course of a day, a few days, or a week, we might come and kind of fill this gap here if we are truly pulling back. And I think if we were to pull back into this 444 level would be a pretty appropriate area to watch for, just on the amount of confluence and how many times we rejected off this area before breaking above. It wouldn't surprise me to come back and retest that. But that's over the course of maybe a week or two, not immediate. In terms of where we're at right now, we have a few days of action to look at. I might actually remove this that supply zone that I drew there. If we're looking at this, I'm going to mark highs and lows. Might do this on like a 15-minute candle just to get a little bit more accurate. I'm going to mark at the highs and lows of Friday's session, so we can see kind of if we break out of that range or not. We got high there, got a low kind of right in there. So change these real quick. So it's a high of the day. That's low of the day. All right, I like to mark those just so when we're trading, if we break out of that range, hopefully we'll have a trending day. If we remain in that range, we might be in for a choppy day. So I like to just mark those just so I have an understanding of kind of what to expect, or an idea if we look like we might break out of that. One thing that I'm seeing immediately off the hourly chart here is kind of this level in here, this 452. You can see bounced a few times on Thursday and then into the aftermarket from Friday into today. We kind of bounced off that level, and now we're opening somewhere in this middle area. Not a ton to really look at. I think we have this like 453.5. That's the pre-market high. I'm gonna watch that, but we have that area which also kind of lines up with some price action from Thursday and Friday. Friday we kind of rejected off that area, so that's one to watch for. If we can bust above that and then eventually above that 454 level, that would be a good indication of continuation upwards. In terms of the downside, I'm not really looking at anything besides these levels here, breaking below Friday's bottom of the day. So the low of the day Friday, 452.19 and 452 pretty much flat in terms of a support level that we've seen touched a few times over the past couple days and in the pre-market / aftermarket. So if we could break above this, potentially looking for a continuation up to here. If we can break above this, we'll probably be in an uptrending day. If we break down and we break below these levels, we could see continuation to the downside, potentially to an area excuse me, an area, see if I can get my area somewhere around in here, that 451 450 area if we break down. So hopefully we don't just chop around to infinity in here. We might, especially with all the data and earnings coming out later this week. There's a possibility that today's a bit of a lower volume day, and we just chop around and we don't have the greatest setups. So something to keep in mind. Definitely don't rush into trades. But yeah, I think it's time to get ready for the trading day. I'm gonna throw up my 5 and my hourly chart. I'll pull up some option contracts here. We're gonna look at SPY. Not today's expiration, but tomorrow's. I'll look at okay, so we're breaking above that pre-market high immediately. I look at 454 calls, and maybe we'll go for 454 puts too. Essentially what I'm watching for here, we broke above the pre-market high. Can we break above Friday's high a day? If we can do that, I'm looking for a retest. I'm really looking for kind of a retest of either of these areas, depending on how far we break above, you know. We're showing some strength, pushing up towards that 454 area. Yeah, we're looking for, we can break above. We're looking for a break above, a pullback to a recent high or support, and look for an entry there. We're showing some strength. We'll just let this play out a little bit, see how it goes. Because it is important to establish price targets. If we break above this 454, you could look at some of these other levels. I think this like 455 is a pretty safe area, somewhere between 454.7 and like 455 would be areas to look at. It's like the high a day or high of day / high of pre-market from the previous couple days trading. So we are touching that Friday's high of day pretty much to the T. We are just coming right up to it. Realize I'm on the wrong account, so I want to switch that over. We topped out pretty much. I mean, that's like on the dot there. Topped out right at Friday's high a day. I'm really looking to see we show strength. I'm not interested in taking a put right now, although we could potentially see a pullback to this area here before a break. But it looks like we're showing a lot of strength here. Got some high volume coming in on that opening candle. We're pushing right up into that level. I'm gonna wait and see what these next couple candles do. If we reject and pull back to this level, but it looks like we're really gonna close close or even maybe above that high of day. There it is. There's matching it. We're gonna push above it. So there we're above it. We're probably gonna close up here. So yeah, showing tremendous strength. So we officially have a high of the day. We have broken out of Friday's range. Opening above that level again. I'm a little hesitant. We're pushing up to this like 454.5 level. I know we broke out of the yesterday's range, but also if you look at this level, it's been a bit of resistance turned support, turned back to resistance. So you can see resistance, resistance, broke above, support, support, broke below, broke above, support, 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 broke below, resistance, resistance. So I am a little wary, looking to take calls in this area because I think it does appear we have some resistance right above us. In terms of like a pullback, I'm not loving the way that candle's looking. Looks more like a sell-off than a pullback, but we'll see. We might get a bounce around this 454. So yeah, it looks like we bounced right off 454. Still got time in this candle though, so we might see some continued price action here. Too close to call it. So there's definitely some buyers stepping in. They broke below 454. And continuing to sell off here. There we are. So yeah, it looks like we really pushed up into an area of supply there. Because there was no consolidation. There was a strong candle up and a pretty strong rejection down. So continuing to sell off. So we are officially back within Friday's range. We broke out for a second. And then we're selling back off into it. You can see some serious volume coming in, almost matching the opening candle. So definitely some serious action going on here. That long wick kind of right above that Friday's high in terms of holding the body. Looks like we might be getting some real buying volume coming in here. We almost have like an inside bar here where we have a big green bullish bar, a candle, the body within this. Typically this pattern you'd look for a break above this high for a continuation upwards, set a stop somewhere below here. I'm not entirely ready to make a call at this point. I think some of this price action has got me a little hesitant to enter one side or the other. I would like to see us show strength in one way or another. I think we've shown some bullish strength initially, but definitely some selling and some supply up here that we're having a problem pushing through. Yeah, and like I said, we broke out of Friday's range, you know, broke out to the top upside. Generally, that would be pretty bullish. However, we did have this huge level of supply slash big area of resistance up here that we've been having a hard time breaking above. So that's why I was a little hesitant to look for calls in this area, because we have about like a 40 cent range before we hit that area, and you can see as we push up, there is selling happening up there. But here we are. It looks like we might set a new high, kind of pushing right up into that area. A little bit lower volume on this though. Still some time left in this candle, but you can see we're definitely encountering quite a bit of selling pressure up in this area. Got about a minute left in this candle. I might look for some puts just based off of the price action that we've had. A little bit of reduction in volume as we're getting up there. So I'm gonna get in on one here. So we do have some buying coming in here. We're definitely getting some selling, but we're also facing some good support at this 454. So that's going to be a big test, is if we can break below that. Right now, that's acting as a big support. But there's definitely some selling volume coming in. There we broke below it momentarily. Let's see if that holds. Continuing to break below. Continuing to go down. All right, so I'm targeting probably that. Yeah, that 453.5 area. I'm going to go ahead and take those profits. I was looking to potentially get a second position opened up here. But yeah, it looks like it's continuing down a little bit further. Looks like we might get that level here. That's the pre-market high is marked here. That's how I have that level. Came down within a few cents of it, about 6 cents off on that wick. So I had about a $20 profit on that trade there. Would have been nice to have opened a second position. Obviously would have been able to essentially double that. I initially started this challenge of growing a small account, trading one contract at a time. I think I'm going to approach it with a 1 to 2 contract, and not just limit myself to one at a time. Reason being, in this situation, we have a nice winning trade. I can take profits. I can move my stop loss up, let a runner run. It's just much easier in terms of growth and kind of flexibility and the different strategies that you can employ if you have more than one contract. If you have one excuse me, if you only have one contract, you can't cut and take profits and let runners run. Moving a stop loss up can be the difference between getting stopped out early and missing a whole move. So it just doesn't offer a ton of flexibility having one contract. So there I traded one contract, worked out well because the trade worked pretty much in my favor, did what I expected, and I was able to take profit at a good return. However, had I got my second contract, I probably would have raised my stop loss. I'd probably still be in this trade, just letting things play out. As you can see, it's continuing to shoot up in premium as we make a new lower low. So yeah, it gives a little bit more flexibility. You do have more risk. If you take a loss, you're taking a loss on 2 contracts rather than just one. So a bit more risky, but a bit more flexibility in terms of allowing you to have probably bigger profit margins with having things such as runners and being able to move up your stop loss and cut and take some profits. So that is my approach currently, is looking at trading 1 to 2 contracts. You can see we wicked down. We touched that pre-market high pretty much exactly. Now we touched it to a T. We're still above the opening print. I would not be surprised to see us have this level of support. Probably looking at a choppy day considering we rejected off the top of Friday's range. Probably looking at a bit of a choppier day here, but I've already had a pretty decent trade, so I'm not looking to rush into anything. Potential bounce in this area could be tradable, like a potential bounce in this pre-market high, looking to target maybe that 454 area. You could buy 454 calls, and those would probably move pretty nicely if you caught this bottom and rode it up into profit. That'd probably be a nice like $20-$30 move. So it might be going underway right now. Sort of retesting that area. Broke right through it. We'll see if we get pulled. Nope. Wow. So yeah, staying in these puts would have been excellent if I had another contract. I mean, we're up to 183. That's a huge move, considering getting in pretty much at the very top. So now that we've kind of formed this like obvious downtrend here, we have a high, we've set a new lower low. We're, well, perhaps we're kind of getting slurped up above that pre-market high. But what I'm saying is if we continue this downward move, if we close down here, you could potentially look for a lower volume pullback up to this area and retest as support. Or sorry, once was support. If we break below, come up and retest it as resistance. Potential continuation down into this area here. I would not be surprised to see that, but we'll have to see how this candle closes. It looks like the sell-off is strong though. I mean, you can see the volume that we've gotten on these two red candles have been the highest since the opening candle. So there's definitely some selling pressure as price is showing here, as volume is showing here. So there's kind of two scenarios I'm watching. I'm watching to see if we come straight down into this area. I'm looking for a quick bounce. If we have a pullback up into this area, I'm looking for a rejection and potential continuation downwards. Man, that would have been excellent to hold those contracts. I mean, it is, wow, it's really moving. Almost a, you know, 200 or almost a 100% gain, you know, from 120 to over 200 already. That's a pretty big move. Continuing to sell off, seriously. A lot of volume coming in, almost rivaling the volume from the opening candle. We have about 10 seconds left in this though, so we are about to get a close and a new candle to open. I would be curious to see if we come up and retest this area or if we continue down into this level down here. So we do have a little bit of a push up. We'll see if it makes its way up into this area. If so, I'll probably be looking to take puts around the opening print level between this 453.35 and 453.5 area. It comes up and retests this. That would be textbook. And I might yeah, I'll keep the 452s. As I would like to see continuation down to this level, which is 452 on the dot. If we get a rejection up here and continuation down to here, that would be a massive move over $1. So if we could catch these at the top and ride them, that would probably be almost like a, you know, that'd probably be over 50% gain on that move, at least. We're coming close. I mean, we're pushing up. Damn, you saw some volume come in. that candle got pushed down pretty hard, so there's definitely looking like we'll probably continue downwards. I'd really love to see a retest of this area though, just for a good confirmation in terms of justification for entering the position. Not really struggling with that 453 area there though. We get above it and kind of get pushed back down below it. So yeah, looking like we might not make it back up into this area that I'm looking for, which is okay. I don't want to chase anything. I really want to only enter this if I have the confirmation I'm looking for, which is a lower volume retest of previous support turn resistance and the opening print. So there's some buying volume coming in. All right, we're pushing up. We're pushing up. So definitely not a low volume pullback. You can see we have some serious volume coming in. We're not quite to the area that I'm looking for in terms of entering a position just yet. Got a little under a minute and a half left in this candle. I'm supposing that we might get that retest. Really kind of depends on how this candle closes here. If we can close above that 453 and come up and retest this on the next candle, that would be a pretty nice entry signal for me. But yeah, as you can see, we're definitely experiencing some selling. Volume's really coming in, price is getting pushed down. It's looking for a close strong as we have about 20 seconds left. Yep, looks like it's trying to push back up, so I'm guessing that this will close somewhere in here. The next candle will print, retest this area, and then we might get the continuation down. But this is a massive amount of volume, pretty much the highest volume candle that we've had all day, so can't really call it a low volume pullback. It's something to watch out for, definitely, if we retest this area. So here we are. We're getting close. Pushing up into it. It's a little bit of a wick. I might take position in here. So I'm going to enter a second position here. I'm going to set my stop. So bam, wow, a lot of volume came in. You can see we got some selling in that zone for sure. It's about 30 seconds left in this candle before we print the next. You can see as we've gotten up here, we've faced some resistance, definitely a little bit lower volume. This push up is looking like it doesn't have a ton of steam. I don't want to jinx myself here. I did take 2 puts. I did take a position up in this area. Entry price is 0.87, so we're a few dollars in profit, I guess, at this moment. I'd really like to see continuation down to this area here. I don't have a stop loss set at the moment. I do want to give myself a little bit of room to let this play out, but also I do want to protect the initial winning trade that I've had today. So I might look at setting a stop here around break even once we start moving in the downward direction. If we do, there's definitely some indecision up in this area. Getting a little bit of a push higher here. I feel pretty good about this position. If you look at the hourly chart, we came all the way up here, pushed all the way down, and we're kind of retesting that high a day, showing some weakness for sure. If you're looking at this, this does not look very bullish. We have a high, a lower low, a lower high. So I might take one contract off here, just to de-risk a little bit. I'm not loving the way this candle is moving here. As you can see, we pushed down and kind of got pushed right back up. So I'm in profit for the day. I took a very small profit, like $5 off right there. So now I'm only in one contract. That's just a de-risk to really manage my position. I would like to hold and see a continuation down into this level. But I also do not want to give back the profit that I made today. If I start seeing some funky behavior, I'm definitely going to be a little wary. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep. So even if you're up $1,000, it can reverse on you. We're still bouncing around this area. Looks like we might want to go lower, but it looks like we also are having a hard time breaking, staying below that 453. But this is the leverage, the kind of the opportunity that I wish I was in up here with two contracts, because I could cut one, let the other run. Here I'm in a position where I took a small profit on one, and I'm kind of letting the other one do its thing. In terms of the hourly chart, we have like two doji candles with long wicks. It's kind of a choppy day. I mean, it's a good move, but we've had some chop in the past couple minutes here. So we're kind of retesting that pre-market high to a T. So I'm gonna get stopped out there. So profit on the day, I guess I lost a couple dollars from that one, but still overall profitable by up $17. Majority on this move here. I was looking to catch a retest and a continuation downwards here. I'm glad I got out with one contract on this candle because I saw some of that wick down and pulling back up. So definitely wasn't feeling too comfortable staying in this position if we didn't show some continuation of the downside. So not really anything to watch here until we confirm either the continuation of the downtrend or a change in trend and we set a new high. We're pushing up, looking to retest that area that we kind of topped out at. So we have the high of the day, we got the low of the day, and now we're somewhere in between. I'm expecting today to be a little choppy, so I'd be surprised to see us like break out and start trending upwards, but it could happen. But either we reject and continue lower, or we set a new high, pull back potentially, and start trending from there. But kind of a waiting and seeing game here. So you can see as soon as we reach that area, starting to experience some selling pressure there. As you're looking at the hourly chart here, we're definitely experiencing some lower volume compared to previous trading days. So today being kind of a lower volume, a little bit more choppy of a day, is kind of to be expected with all the data and all the earnings coming out this week. In terms of the volume profile, is played out pretty nice. You see this high volume push up, volume drops dramatically as we're kind of retesting that area support or area resistance slash supply. Low volume, and volume picks up as we fall off, and then reverse. So that was a pretty textbook example of some price action mixed with some volume there. Kind of pushing up, looking to retest this area again. So I'm looking to see if we can retest in this area up here, and I might take a single put. it looks like I might missed out on that. We're getting that pullback now. I was looking for a potential, just a quick scalp off that previous high. See if I couldn't bump that P&L up to around 30 or so, hit my target. That'd be nice. But we are seeing kind of some choppy price action here. A little bit of a lower volume, although we do still have about a minute left in this candle. So yeah, we are selling off a bit here. We'll see if we can break below this low that we set in this area. So we're kind of bouncing off the previous wick area. So we're still kind of pushing up into this area. Failing to break lower, which makes me a little hesitant to take a put here, because we're showing some strength to the upside. We do have lowering volume though as we're approaching this area, which is concerning if you're looking for a move higher. This is a serious area of resistance and supply, so you'd like to see us bust through some volume behind it, some momentum. Coming into this area with low volume is definitely a little concerning. So I am going to enter a position here. I'll set my stop. I'm really just looking for a quick pullback below 454. And then I would be out on this. So we're approaching that 454. Breaking below it, I'm gonna take that. And that just puts me up at 25 for the day. All I was looking for is a quick scalp. And I'm happy with that. I'm above $20 profit loss for the day. I could have held a little bit longer, it seems. But we had initial trade. I actually took a very small loss here. I should have taken my profit and moved my stop loss to break even here, just to protect the win that I already had. Looked up, we were retesting this previous zone, failed to make any higher highs, showed some weakening volume and some weakening price action, so I took another put, just looking for a quick scalp. So I'm happy with that. Overall, decent day. Played it pretty patient. I didn't FOMO or rush into anything, which felt pretty good. But yeah, I'll be making a recap later today on how some of these played out, what I was looking at, why I did what I did. If there's anybody out there watching and listening,